Hello and via live welcome. My name is Christian Fischer. I'm the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur host. And over the last few weeks, we gotten a lot of requests on talking about what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur in 2024. And I had the opportunity to work with a lot of them over the last 15 years. And I will share my 15 traits I think every entrepreneur needs to have in order to be successful in 2024. Hello again. My name is Christian Fischer. I'm the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur host. Welcome to our live podcast today. And today I want to talk to you about the top 15 traits successful entrepreneurs need to have to succeed in 2024. And this is not just a list of things I read about. This is a list I actually practice myself and what I see from my mentors and the people I was able to interact with. So let's get into it. Number one for me is they need to be visionary thinkers. When I think of a visionary, I think of Elon Musk. I think what Steve Jobs did, just having a bigger vision for where you want to take this. And for us, this was probably one of the hardest things to learn because we wanted to serve so many people and we wanted to have all this impact. And over the years, we were able to define what we really want to do in our industry. And for us, you guys know it's about hospitality. We want to arm every hospitality professional with the knowledge they need in order to be successful in doing anything around the hospitality space. So being a visionary thinker for me is one of the crucial things. Therefore, number one, we need to cultivate a visionary mindset. And for me, number two is resilience. Resilience, if you look at what J.K. Rowling did or Thomas Edison, how often they were told, no, no, what you do is not right. I think we all need to have a strategy on building resilience. Resilience for us, there was many times within our business, we wanted to give up or do something else. We weren't sure if this is the right format, is this the right vision? But what we learned over the years was just to keep moving forward. If something doesn't work, let's redefine it, let's redo it, and let's push it out again. The market give us feedback on works and what doesn't work. So for me, number two, resilience. Number three is really being adaptable. And adaptability for me, look what Netflix did. And and for that, even Twitter. Look how these two companies just adapted and evolved and learned how to pivot within a changing marketplace because the way we consume movies today is different than we did 15 years ago or 20 years ago. So for me, Netflix is just a really good example of what they do around adaptability and being adaptable. So for me, number four, passion. Because if you're not passionate about what you do, it's really hard to do anything. So for me, the reason I'm so passionate about this industry and helping culinarians because over the years I have learned that there's a lot of amazing culinary schools out there. There's a lot of great ways of making great food, and that's not a problem in the industry. The problem is what comes with it. We never learned how to deal with rejection, how to overcome obstacles, how to raise our hands and ask for help, how to partner with a mentor, be part of a mastermind group to kind of sharpen your skill. Because as you get really clear in what you want to do, and that was for us, one of the pivoting points is when you get really clear of what you want to do, passion will come because if you really detailed and into a project or whatever your business might be, being into it and knowing that my message, my information can save other people a long time a learning curve or even help them to scale 5 or 10x. So for me, passion comes when you get really, really clear on how you serve your marketplace. And therefore, we need to maintain a channel of efficient passion and be around people like yourself. And for me, number one way for me to do this is part of a mastermind. I currently belong to 3 different masterminds, and I learn something different, and I get different things out of all of them. Number five, risk taking. So for me, if I think of risk taking, there's nobody better than look what Jeff Bezos did. And for me, risk taking is something culinarians we're not really good at, because for me as a man, we learn to be providers, and taking risk to do something totally different and starting something new is really hard, especially if you have family to take care of. So for me, risk taking, there is a balance between calculated risk and also reckless decision making. So be really careful, surround yourself with the right people, get yourself a mentor that will help you around risk taking. Number six for me is creativity, being creative. And it's not just creative on the way you think, but also be creative in problem solving and then innovation. Because as you have a great product and you learn how to be creative in problem solving. So if you have a great product and you get it to the marketplace, it doesn't get the response you expected. Being able to redefine it, retweak it, re-engineer it, and put it back out of the marketplace takes a very calculated way of being creative. And therefore, for me, creativity is certainly a tool of problem solving. And for me, when I think about creativity, there's nobody better than Walt Disney. Look what he did. He's seen Disney World before everybody else. So therefore, around creativity, exercise those habits for you to boost your creativity. Number seven for me is leadership. And for me, leadership is the essential quality of any entrepreneur. For me, leadership starts with self leadership. If I can get myself to get up early and be in the office before anybody else, if I can get myself to be passionate, read up about my industry, take risk, how am I going to get this to my employees? And for me, around leadership, there's Richard Branson is for me the name which comes up when I think about leadership and what he does. But and leadership is not just leading others, it's also being an inspirational leader and define and tweak and work on your leadership styles. The way I led 20 years ago is a lot different than I lead my team today. So for me, I try to evolve and work on myself, because for me, I learned a long time ago, in order for things to get better, I need to get better. And it starts all with leadership. So therefore, develop, improve leadership skills on a daily basis. For me, number eight is networking. There's nothing more important in any business than networking. Some of the business we started today is all because we networked with people, and our networking group became our business partners eventually. Also, being successful and having a powerful, strong network helps you in, you know, reaching out to people if you need help, if you need some market research, if you need some additional advice. For me, networking is the number one tool. And look what Reid Hoffman did around his business. So for me, effective tips about networking is, if you meet somebody, I ask myself three questions. What can I learn from them? What they can learn from you? What can I provide value back to them? And who needs to know about them? And for me, over the years, I was coined as a networker, because if I have a vast network and I can reach out to people and I know they will answer the phone when I reach out. So for me, number eight, networking. Number nine is customer focus. You need to clearly understand what your customer needs, and then you need to meet those needs. For me, a good example is, look what Amazon does. I get Amazon deliveries here in my office almost on every other day on a basis. Look what Zappos did, the way they serve the customer, the way nobody else can. So for me, number nine is customer focus. Be really clear of what you want to do for your clients, and then serve them the way nobody else can and the way only you can. You will stand out. And also around customer focus, there needs to be a way for you to gather and implement customer feedback. I call it the feedback loop. Because when I get great feedback, how can we tweak or just better our services and get it back into the marketplace? Because the market will give us the feedback, and we talk to our clients all the time. What works, what doesn't work, why did you partner with us, and what is it you want to see in the future? And let's find some way to support the industry around that. Number 10, and we had a whole segment around that, is you need to understand your the basic financial management needs to be key for any entrepreneur. It doesn't matter how creative you are and how good you are if you can't manage the financial aspect. it's not really a great thing. And I always talk about this within restaurant business. 9 out of 10 restaurants fail, not because they don't make amazing food, is because the chefs were never taught the HR piece, the finance piece. They know a little bit about it, but they need to become very proficient at it. And for me, there's nobody better for me. If I look for financial advice, I go to Warren Buffett because his success stories and the way he became a savvy entrepreneur leaves clues. And you probably heard it said that success does leave clues. So if you follow some of the great people, there's a way for you to do that as well. And my advice or my feedback to our listeners here is today: find tools and resources to improve your financial skills on a daily basis. Take a little workshop, learn something new, leverage AI. For us, we in our financial accountability softwares, we have AI built in, and the data we get back is absolutely amazing. For me, number 10 is that financial understanding of what you need to do. Number 11 for me, time management. It's important to manage your time efficiently. And for me, you can work in different blocks, and I follow the Eisenhower metrics where you block out certain sections to get certain things done. And I found that every successful entrepreneur has a management technique they use to be successful in what they do. So time management, for me, you need to get better in time management. Number 12 for me, strategic thinking, is not just strategic thinking that it's important on how you want to get to where you want to go and how you will get yourself to be there, and who is the team which support you to get there. For me, and especially if you have a product which where you want to have or see diversification, or if you want to enter a new market, that strategic thinking around that is really, really important. And for me, we partner with a few mentors. They help us look at things a little bit different, and we surround ourselves with people which are much better at this than we are. But strategic thinking is something we work on a constant basis to become better, and become not just better in the way we serve our clients, it's also the way we get the information out to the marketplace. This podcast is a very good example of entering a new market. We didn't do this. I don't enjoy the way I look on camera. I enjoy the way I sound on camera, but I know that my information I have learned over the last 35 years can help chefs and entrepreneurs to become better in what they do. So for me, strategic thinking is big. And look into resources on how you could become better in strategic thinking and how you can just refine your skill around strategic thinking. Then for me, number 13 is persistence. And for me, there is a very distinct role of persistence in achieving any kind of long-term goal. I always talk about that the road to success and the road to failure are the same road. The reason some people succeed and some people do not is because they don't have the persistence what it takes to get there. They get off the road too early, and therefore they will not succeed. So for me, the road to success and the road to failure are the identical road. The people that succeed have more persistence in getting there. And for me, Colonel Sanders, being in the food industry, he was certainly known for his persistence and how he went out there to different gas stations, try to sell his special chicken recipe. So stay on top of your persistence, and you can sharpen your persistent tools through overcoming challenges and successful challenges. So for me, persistence, we have it as listed as number 13. It's really, really important. For me, number 14 is innovation. And the reason 14 I have on innovation and not number one, because if you don't have the other traits we just talked about, innovation doesn't mean anything. If I don't have persistence, if I don't have vision, if I don't have leadership, if I don't have the financial acumens, innovation means very little. So for me, I put it on number 14 because innovation innovation is a key driver in any business growth. The other things we talked about before set the foundation. So therefore, innovation for me, look at what Google does, what Tesla does. Really two great, amazing company which drive innovations in the product they put out there in the marketplace, and encourage you to foster a culture of innovation within your team. And the best advice I have for anybody listening today is I started out, I didn't have the money to hire anybody. I didn't have the resources to bring on staff. But I was very strategic around how can we take some resources and put it to a full-time employee. And we hired the first full-time person we hired was a marketing, not just marketing, a digital networking marketing person. And within 3 months, she got so much more done than I did working on it, understanding marketing and digital marketing and how to bring products out to the marketplace. But having her, it just accelerated our speed. It accelerated our thinking and the way the market perceived us. For me, also what I love around that is, for me, when we talk about fostering that culture of innovation, every time we had a new task, I just went to her. I trust you. You build it. Let me know what you think it should look like. Because if I tell you what it needs to look like, I have the same thing I always had. So therefore, for me, innovation and that culture of innovation, let the people bring in some new ideas because there's a reason you hire them. The cultural fit, they have a skill which your business needs, and they can help you 10x your business. For me, having that first full-time person, it was a stretch at first, but it was the best decision we made, and we added people since that. So for me, number 14 is you need to innovate around that. So before we go to number 15, what I want to share with you guys is if you haven't done so, please check out our private club, which is the Disruptive Chef Club, which is our private community where you get access to the latest and greatest information we put out there. There's also calls we do with that group, and we share some of the new ideas and the things we put out there in the marketplace. It's also our group where we ask them for some ideas and some feedback back because that's part of our success loop we talked about earlier. So really, really important when you have a chance, get to Disruptive Chef Club, join our private community. We have some really cool giveaways we give out on a monthly basis. With that, number 15, and that's for me, the reason we make this last is out of the 15 traits, for me, that was the most important one. And the reason I used it last, because it's always somewhat the most important one, it's around ethics in your business, and not just the ethics alone, but the integrity of your business. And what I've seen a lot within my peer group, the people which had great ethic principles and had a lot of integrity are still around. And the businesses which were great in marketing and all the other things didn't have good principles and didn't have integrity are not around. So for me, the reason I made number 15, ethics and integrity, the last one, because I feel it seals the deal with the other 14 we talked about. And for me, if I think of a company which has great ethics and integrity, is Patagonia. Just look at what they did with their brand. It's just absolutely amazing. So for me, number 15 is the ethics and the integrity of any business. So hopefully this helped. Hopefully it gave you a good idea on what some of the successful keys are I learned, and not just what I learned, is what I see in the business I partner with and the companies I support. So for me, hopefully that was not just inspiration, but I give you a little bit more insight what some of the traits you need to work on, improve, or need to just become a lot more proficient at. So with that, I want to say thank you for being here. Thanks for listening in to the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur podcast. Go out there, stay disruptive, and we see you at our next